क्वालिटी सेटिंग चेंज किया ना इसके हिसाब से। Hello everyone, is the audio and video clear? Yes. Good morning everyone. We'll start in next 1 minute. चले. So these sessions would help you bring consistency in your mains preparation. क्या होता है कि लास्ट में करंट अफेयर्स एक साथ आएगा and you get very less time to imbibe those current affairs. तो हम consistently ये sessions रखने वाले हैं so that it helps every aspirant who is going to write mains 2023. ठीक है? Even helpful for 2024 also, but majorly through this sessions you will get an idea कि कैसे अगर कोई टॉपिक आता है तो कितना होलिस्टिकली आंसर लिखना है एंड देयर विल बी इंटरलिंकेजेस आल्सो. चलेगा, विल स्टार्ट इन नेक्स्ट मिनट. ठीक है. गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीवन. होप एवरीवन has completed the yesterday's session. ठीक है. if you give us more support, हम फ्यूचर में और बैचेस और लेक्चर्स भी लाएंगे. तो इट डिपेंड्स ऑन हाउ मच सपोर्ट यू गिव फॉर दिस सेशंस. ठीक है. And these sessions are even important for all the Sankalp Mains batch students. ये आपके लिए भी बहुत important है. ठीक है. It's compulsory to attend for all the students who are part of Sankalp Mains batch also. ठीक है. तो without wasting much time, ठीक है, everyone is ready with pen and paper, right? चले. ठीक ठीक चले. Yes. So all these sessions, जो पहला टॉपिक हमने लिया था was with respect to logistics sector, because government of India has launched various logistics sector related initiatives in last 7-8 months में बहुत सारे initiatives लिए हैं. Today's topic is with respect to international relationship, and recently Prime Minister Modi visited an important group of islands, and with that respect, definitely there could be a question on Pacific Island countries and their role with respect to India's foreign policy. तो उस perspective से definitely question आने वाला है and you should be prepared. And इस session में we'll study those that region in a very comprehensive way. ठीक है, चलेगा. चले, let's start. So as you must have seen this article, the Hindu में article था कि where PM Modi visited Papua New Guinea and there he addressed the third Indo-Pacific. He addressed the third Pacific India फोरम ऑफ इंडिया पैसिफिक आइलैंड कंट्रीज कोऑपरेशन. एक फोरम है जो इंडिया ने 2014 में स्टार्ट किया था. तो उस फोरम को इंडियन प्राइम मिनिस्टर एड्रेस्ड इट. ठीक है. सो विद दैट पर्सपेक्टिव इट बिकम्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रीजन एंड यू कैन डेफिनेटली एक्सपेक्ट अ क्वेश्चन. सो एंड इफ यू सी विच आर दीज 14 कंट्रीज, कौन से 14 कंट्रीज? दी मेजरली लाई इन 3 एरियाज जो पैसिफिक रीजन में है. फर्स्ट इज माइक्रोनेशिया है, मेलिनेशिया एंड पॉलिनेशिया. ये तीन मेजर रीजन्स है इन पैसिफिक रीजन वेयर दीज 14 कंट्रीज लाइज. ठीक है. सो टू टेल यू, सो द फर्स्ट व्हाट यू नीड टू थिंक इज, first point of brainstorming what you need to do is why this Pacific Island countries are important to India. Important. Think. Second, you have to also think why India is important to them. Why India? क्योंकि whenever you see international relationship question can ask bilaterally question पूछते हैं कि why this region is important to India and why that region is also giving excessive importance to India. So it is a mixed bag. ठीक है. It is a bilateral cooperation रहता है हमेशा. So why India is important to Pacific Island countries, and this during this summit the prime minister of these countries raised an important issue जो यहां हम डिस्कस करने वाले हैं. ठीक है. थर्ड, what steps India is taking with respect to supporting Pacific Island countries. Think for 3 minutes. Everyone. No one is going to write. Everyone is going to think. No one is going to write. Everyone is going to think from, write down in the, no one is going to write. As I have told you कि आपके जो 1/3 part है पेज का, there you have to write, there you have to think. चलेगा. So basically, if you see this Pacific island countries, these are majorly called as small island countries. इसको बोलते हैं जब भी if you go on international forum, what they are called as small island countries. But Prime Minister Modi said you should not call them as small island countries, but they are countries with they should be called as large ocean countries. Large ocean countries. So this would be an introduction whenever you are writing about any question about FIPIC. ठीक है. As Prime Minister called them, Prime Minister Modi called them not as small island countries but as large ocean countries. Large ocean countries. ठीक है. This has to be a very important introduction. ठीक है. The first summit happened, as I told you, first summit 2014 में हुआ था. This is the third summit. Because of COVID and geopolitical turmoil, we could not have this summit on a regular interval, but the recent 2023 में third summit हुआ था. ठीक है. And why this PIFIC countries are important to India? PIFIC countries, Forum for India Pacific Island Countries Cooperation. Why these countries are important? Tell me why these countries are important. Why these countries are important? एक important. क्यों important? सबसे important. Can you tell me the reasons? First is, if you see from जब भी आप कोई country इस perspective से discuss कर रहे हो, you should know strategic perspective से भी important. Strategic and security perspective. Security. Strategic perspective is there has been growing China's presence in Pacific Island countries. So the China has developed the first military bases, Solomon Island. So as to ensure freedom of navigation and to ensure that the Pacific Ocean is independent and is protected from growing China's influence, Pacific Island countries are important to India. Important. Second important reason क्या है? Strategic perspective से, because sea line of communication passes through these countries. Sea line of communication passes through these countries, and it is important that these countries are, that there is positive relationship with respect to these countries. ठीक है. तो ये strategic perspective से for ensuring navigation, to ensuring smooth navigation and free navigation. ठीक है. एक important perspective, strategic perspective. ठीक है. तो next important आता है from perspective of global position. Why these countries are important to India from global position. India, these country wants India to act as their leader in international forums such as United Nations, G7, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. These countries wants India to be their leader and be vocal for these countries. ठीक है. So India could act as a leader for these countries. ठीक है. तो एक important है global position से. ठीक है. India wants them with respect to reforms in India with respect to UN. ठीक है. Why these countries are important? ठीक है. Global position से भी it's an important. important, because these countries would see India as their leader. Secondly, for raising the voices of global south. These countries can come together with India and raise the voice of global south at international forum. So for global position also, these countries. Third is economic perspective. Economic perspective, because these are very important as they have large EEZ. So they have various resources, marine resources, hydrocarbon resources, energy resources, mineral resources, because of the large EEZ. Secondly, with respect to trade also, fisheries also, ठीक है, fisheries also, ठीक है, fisheries also. तो इकोनॉमिक पर्सपेक्टिव से भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. थर्ड इज विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू डायस्पोरा. You have huge number of diaspora in this Pacific countries, in this Pacific island countries. Fiji में there is population close to 500 to 1000 people के बीच में we have Indian diaspora. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट इज, जब हम स्ट्रैटेजिक पर्सपेक्टिव से लिख सकते हो, देयर यू कैन राइट दिस पैसिफिक आइलैंड कंट्रीज आर एन एक्सटेंशन ऑफ आर. पहले क्या था, लुक ईस्ट था, देन वी मूव टू 2014 में हमारा क्या हुआ, एक्ट ईस्ट हो गया. एक्ट ईस्ट इज नॉट जस्ट साउथ ईस्ट एशियन कंट्रीज, सिर्फ एशियन कंट्रीज नहीं, बट गोइंग बियॉन्ड एशियन कंट्रीज, गोइंग इनटू द पैसिफिक ओशन. So Act East में you have Japan, Korea, even Australia and these Pacific Island countries. So it is in align with our foreign policy. That Act East policy. ठीक है. Act East policy. ठीक है. Important है. ठीक है. Important है. द ट्रेड इकोनॉमिक पर्सपेक्टिव से ट्रेड में भी लिख सकते हो, तो $570 मिलियन का ट्रेड है, एंड विच, ठीक है, दे कैन फॉर्म ड्यूरिंग डिजास्टर एंड क्लाइमेट चेंज में. कोलैबोरेटिंग विद दीज कंट्रीज वुड हेल्प अस टैकल क्लाइमेट चेंज एंड द ग्लोबल कॉमन्स के इश्यूज. ठीक है, ग्लोबल कॉमन्स के इश्यू. ठीक है. फ्रॉम कल्चरल पर्सपेक्टिव ऑल्सो, पर्सपेक्टिव से भी आप लिख सकते हो, कल्चरल पर्सपेक्टिव से भी यू कैन राइट. ठीक है. कल्चरल पर्सपेक्टिव से भी यू कैन राइट. We had historical relationship with this with respect to Pacific Island countries. ठीक है. ये हो गया why these countries are important to India. But you should also know कि why they want India, why Pacific Island countries want India, a strong relationship with India. ये भी आपको उतना ही इंपॉर्टेंट है. Why they want a strong relationship with India, एक इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट है. Tell me reason why they want a strong relationship with India. अगर आप बता पाओगे, definitely it would be really helpful. ठीक है. Why they want, because you should know about the present situation. अगर ये डायग्राम आप ड्रॉ कर पाओगे, तो you can definitely tell why Pacific Island countries are important to India. Why India is important to Pacific Island countries? Because USA saw them as in their backyard. USA had a strong hold over this Pacific Island countries through COPA agreement से USA had a strong unilateral relationship. Compact of free association. That is COPA agreement, and because of that, it was considered as a backyard of USA. And growing influence of China. Now what we have seen is, पहले किसका presence था ज़्यादा, dominance था, it was dominance of USA. Now China is increasing their dominance through debt trap, and also through military bases. ठीक है, how? Through debt trap and military bases. तो मिलिट्री बेसिस में चाइना ने क्या किया है, दे हैव एस्टैब्लिश सोलोमन आइलैंड में क्या किया है, मिलिट्री बेस एस्टैब्लिश किया है. सेकेंडली दे हैव, चाइना हैज गिवन बिटवीन लास्ट 20 इयर्स में 1.5 बिलियन डॉलर्स के ग्रांट्स एंड लोन्स दिए हैं पैसिफिक आइलैंड कंट्रीज को, पैसिफिक आइलैंड कंट्रीज को, पैसिफिक आइलैंड कंट्रीज को. ठीक है, पैसिफिक आइलैंड कंट्रीज को. सो देयर हैज बीन अ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट between these two major power, and the major person who has been affected because of these two major rivalry is Pacific Island countries. So in the recent in the recent summit, the Mr. Marape said, we suffered as a result of conflict between big nations and their geopolitics and their power struggle. That Pacific Island countries are been suffering because of geopolitics and power play between two countries, two major countries, China and USA. ठीक है, and they also said they are the victim of global power play, and they want India. Why do they want India? They want India to be their advocate. They want India to be the independent, neutral partner. They want India to be an independent, neutral partner. So अभी यहां देखोगे, यहां किसका प्रेजेंस है, द प्रेजेंस यूएसए का ज्यादा प्रेजेंस है. यूएसए का पहले किसका था, यूएसए का था, अब क्या है, चाइना का प्रेजेंस बढ़ रहा है. बट दोनों सिचुएशन में क्या हो रहा है, who is being affected because of the power play, Pacific Island countries. So they want a third alternative in the form of India, third alternative in the form of India as a independent, neutral development partner, independent, neutral development partner. ठीक है, so why they want India? What is the importance of India to them? First is, the importance is having a third option which is independent, neutral and working focused towards the development. Second, India has acted very positively during humanitarian disasters, and during emergencies, such as during COVID. We provided vaccines through Vaccine Mitra initiative. We have been very active in providing vaccines. ठीक है, तो एक important है. Third is, India has worked towards them for ensuring that there is e-connectivity. India has acted in a very effective way in providing e-connectivity. ठीक है, e-connectivity. Next is, they want India for financial assistance. ठीक है, with respect to that, India has set up a 10 million fund to support Pacific Island countries. We have also set up 1 million fund which would be given towards climate change mitigation and clean energy. ठीक है, clean energy. They want India for development of their EEZ, exclusive economic zone के development के लिए भी they want India. ठीक है, they want India to be their leader at international summits, and they want India to be a leader and a voice of global south at international summits. ठीक है, international summit. They also see India as an important partner to provide technological assistance. During the recent PIFIC summit, India agreed to set up a space center in Pacific Island countries. Pacific Island countries में हमने decide किया कि what we'll do is we'll set up a We'll set up a space center. We'll set up a space center. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, ठीक है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, ठीक है. Climate change cooperation. They also see India as a trade partner and investment partner. They want India to invest in Pacific Island countries. So it's a win-win situation for both the countries. So have you understood कि problem क्या था पहले Pacific Island countries के साथ? They were a victim of power play between USA and China. China through debt trap, through establishing military bases, and USA considered them as their backyard, Pacific Island backyard. They had overall control over these countries. They were seen as a pawn. But now these countries see India as a third option, as an independent development partner, as a voice of the South. And India also sees them as a क्या बोला प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी ने? Not just as small island countries, but big ocean countries. Important. Big ocean countries important है, ठीक है, ठीक है. Large area nation, या big ocean countries भी बोल सकते, large area nations, ठीक है, ठीक है. कंक्लूजन में यही लिखोगे जब भी पैसिफिक का आएगा. While these countries are small island nations, but they have a huge strategic, economic, and political. They have a considerable strategic, economic, political significance to India. And India, ठीक है, ठीक है, importance to India, and India should focus on the development, should act as a development partner, and work towards human development of these nations, ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है. Did you get the points? First, what we discussed was, हमने क्या क्या डिस्कस किया? Everyone got the points? ठीक है, everyone got the points? Yes, that India needs to work towards the holistic development and work towards protecting their national interest, protecting the Pacific Islands national interest. ठीक है, चलेगा. Should we move to the next topic? Yeah. What we looked is, जब भी international relationship में, it's a both ways. It is, these nations are important to India from economic perspective, from strategic and defense perspective, from global position perspective, from diaspora perspective, from climate change perspective, and India is also important to them from these perspective. ठीक है, marine resources, hydrocarbon resources, wind energy, tidal energy में they are rich. ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है. Next is moving forward to the next topic. कौन सा नेक्स्ट टॉपिक है? सिमिलरली जब हम पैसिफिक रीजन की बात करते हैं, यू शुड नो ऑल्सो अबाउट एन इम्पॉर्टेंट इकोनॉमिक ब्लॉक विच इज बीन क्रिएटेड एंड इंडिया इज पार्ट ऑफ दिस ब्लॉक. कौन सा ब्लॉक है ये आपको पता चाहिए. क्या नाम है इसका? इंडो पैसिफिक इकोनॉमिक फ्रेमवर्क. इंडो पैसिफिक इकोनॉमिक फ्रेमवर्क. इंडो पैसिफिक इकोनॉमिक फ्रेमवर्क. ठीक है, ठीक है. इंडो पैसिफिक इकोनॉमिक फ्रेमवर्क. ऐड करो Indo-Pacific Economic Forum, and there definitely could be a question on this Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. So what do you understand? What is this Indo-Pacific Economic Framework? Try to think. What is its importance to India? What is the issue with this Indo-Pacific Economic Forum? क्या issues है with this framework which has been suggested or which has been promoted by USA? Huh? Think for 3 minutes. ठीक है, 3 minutes. This topic can definitely come this year. Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. There's a high chance with respect to that. High chance of this question coming. So basically, what is this Indo-Pacific Economic Forum, economic framework? Not forum, but framework. Basically, it's an initiative of USA and 12 other countries from Indo-Pacific region to promote economic cooperation and competition in the region. To promote economic cooperation and competition in the region. ठीक है, ये सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है. As in the last part we said, जब हमने FIPIC का देखा था, Forum of India Pacific Island Countries Cooperation में, where Prime Minister Modi said it is not small island countries but big large. यहाँ भी you can write PM Modi said about this framework that it is born out of collective desire to make Indo-Pacific region an engine of growth, economic growth. Engine of Indo-Pacific, make Indo-Pacific region an engine of global economic growth. ठीक है, ये लिखना बहुत जरूरी है जब भी आप if you write this such statements while introduction, एक बहुत impactful जाएगा. हमेशा इंडो पैसिफिक इकोनॉमिक फोरम पर अगर आप प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी का स्टेटमेंट लिखोगे दैट it was born out of a collective desire to make Indo-Pacific region a engine of global economic growth. तो ये लिखना बहुत जरूरी है. अगर इस तरीके का इंट्रोडक्शन लिखोगे तो डेफिनेटली यू विल गेट एन एक्स्ट्रा एज. सेकेंडली, हमने स्टार्टिंग में क्या बोला, इट्स अ इनिशिएटिव ऑफ यूएसए एंड अदर 12 अदर कंट्रीज टू प्रमोट इकोनॉमिक कोऑपरेशन एंड कंपटीशन. इकोनॉमिक कंपटीशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. ठीक है, एंड देयर आर 4 पिलर्स ऑफ दिस फ्रेमवर्क. 4 पिलर्स ऑफ दिस फ्रेमवर्क और एग्रीमेंट. तो फर्स्ट पिलर क्या है? टू प्रमोट ट्रेड एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट. ट्रेड एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट. ट्रेड एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट. टू प्रमोट ट्रेड एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट, सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट, टू प्रमोट ट्रेड एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट. सेकेंड इज बिल्डिंग सप्लाई चेन रेजिलियंस. ट्रेड एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट टू सपोर्ट ट्रेड एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट. अब मैं हर एक चीज का और थोड़ा डिटेल में एज इन द सक्सेसिव. To ensure supply chains resilience is also the important pillar. Third is to focus on clean energy and decarbonization. Fourth is to focus on taxation and anti-corruption. Such as work towards against money laundering, against bribery, against corruption, against anti-competitive activities. तो ये 4 pillars है. First is trade and investment, second is supply chain resilience, third is clean energy and decarbonization, fourth is taxation. दिमाग में एकदम फिट चाहिए, फिर वापस पढ़ने की कोई जरूरत नहीं. ठीक है, एक इंपॉर्टेंट है. ठीक है, इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट है. एंड these are the 4 pillars. So what countries can do is they can think while joining this framework, they can select they would follow these 3, they want to join these 3 pillars. They can exclude from any specific pillar. अगर इंडिया ने क्या किया है, India said India would be part of this framework for these 3 pillars, that is ensuring supply chain resilience, clean energy and decarbonization, taxation and anti-corruption activities. तो इस 3 पिलर्स पर हमें इनिशियली हम इस फ्रेमवर्क के साथ जाना चाहते हैं. इस व्हाट यू से कॉर्पोरेशन, इस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के साथ हम जाना चाहते हैं. इंडिया सेड वी वुड नॉट इन द फ्यूचर, वी विल ट्राई टू बी पार्ट ऑफ दिस, बट प्रेजेंटली इंडिया डज नॉट वांट टू बी पार्ट ऑफ द ट्रेड एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट. ठीक है, दिस इज व्हाट यू नीड टू नो अबाउट दिस इंपॉर्टेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. सो बेसिकली इट्स अ grouping. It's like जैसे we have trade organization RECP था. India withdrew from RECP. Why did India withdraw? It had it reduced tariffs. There was a provision of zero tariff for close to 92% of the products. इसमें there's no concept of zero tariff in this framework of Indo-Pacific Economic Forum. जीरो ट्रैफिक नहीं है, जीरो टैरिफ फॉर्मूला नहीं है. इन RECP there was uniformity. अगर आपने एक बार एक्सेप्ट कर लिया तो it is universal for all the provisions. इसमें क्या था, you can accept the 3 pillars and you can exclude any single pillar if you do not want to be part of that pillar in that framework. So there is more freedom to the countries, more freedom to the countries. ठीक है, more freedom to the countries. So ठीक है, ये आपको पता चाहिए, ये आपको पता चाहिए. So with respect to trade, what they want to achieve is, with respect to trade, they want to achieve high standard, fair trade, which benefits both workers and consumers, and would want to focus on digital trade. Digital trade. ठीक है, ये ट्रेड में व्हाट दे वांट टू डू, सप्लाई चेन रेजिलियंस में व्हाट दे वांट टू डू इज सिक्योर की रॉ मटेरियल विद रिस्पेक्ट टू सेमीकंडक्टर्स हो गया, क्रिटिकल मिनरल्स हो गया, ड्यूरिंग एनी इमरजेंसी. सो सपोज देयर इज अ यूक्रेन रशिया वॉर, इन सच सिचुएशन द सप्लाई चेन इज broken. So even during this situation, through this framework we would be able to achieve supply chain resilience. Third is जो obvious है clean energy and decarbonization, provide technical assistance with respect to clean energy and decarbonization. And last is to promote anti-corruption activities and to focus on cooperation on taxes. तो ये सबको समझ आए, ठीक है, एक important है. Why this organization is significant? It amounts to close to 40% of GDP, global GDP. This organization collectively forms 40% of GDP. ठीक है? It tries to bring regulatory coherence among countries, which would increase trade in the future. Common regulatory. Yeah. It wants to support digital trade, thus increasing our market size. Digital trade मतलब क्या है? Online access to market. जैसे e-commerce, where our e-commerce you can order directly from USA person can directly order from Indian website, and there is smooth transportation or smooth logistic infrastructure while doing this digital trade. ठीक है? ठीक है. Third is, once the supply chain management is ensured, what it would do is it would ensure that the production line is stable. Even during crisis. We would be able to tackle climate change and tax evasion. Climate change and pollution लिख लो. Climate change and pollution because of clean energy pollution. And we would be also able to, the countries can come together and fight money laundering. They can fight drug trafficking. They can fight tax evasion because of cooperation. ठीक है? It would definitely increase investment in the respective countries. And the benefit is it does not want zero tariff. There is lot of independence with respect to being part of this. It is not coercive. This framework is not coercive. ठीक है? This framework is not coercive like RECP. ठीक है? ठीक है, तो ये सारे इसके बेनिफिट्स है ऑफ दिस फ्रेमवर्क. ठीक है. बट इश्यूज क्या है ऑफ दिस इंडो पैसिफिक इकोनॉमिक फ्रेमवर्क? So this was an initiative of USA. Why did USA start this? There was an ulterior motive to start this, because USA withdrew from Trans-Pacific Partnership. Trans-Pacific Partnership से USA ने withdraw कर लिया. So they wanted certain alternative. ठीक है? Alternative. So they created this framework where they would have stronger say. So ये इनिशिएटिव किसका है? यूएसए का है. ठीक है? Why? Because USA withdrew from TPP during Trump times. So other issue is there is a huge issue. The other issue is that many people are questioning what would be the stability of this framework, stability of this स्टेबिलिटी एंड सस्टेनेबिलिटी पर क्वेश्चन कर रहे हैं. एज यूएस में द पॉलिटिक्स इज चेंजिंग, दे आर ऑल्सो चेंजिंग देयर फॉरेन पॉलिसी. अर्लियर दे विड्रू फ्रॉम यूनेस्को, नाउ दे आर कमिंग बैक. टीपीपी से क्या बोलते हैं, they withdrew from Trans-Pacific Partnership without giving any reasons because of regional politics. Regional politics. Regional USA का dominance. So there is a issue, there is a concern over stability and sustainability because of USA's past experiences. Secondly, it is seen as an USA, it is seen as a tool to achieve USA's objective. ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है. थर्ड इंपॉर्टेंट इज इट इज सीन एज वेरी रश्ड निगोशिएशन. मतलब बहुत फास्ट में, विदाउट एनी इफेक्टिव कंसेंसस, दिस निगोशिएशंस वेर कंक्लूडेड. तो इट इज सेड एज इट हैज बीन, मतलब रश निगोशिएशन हुए हैं. एंड इट इज द लैंग्वेज ऑफ द फ्रेमवर्क इज वेरी वेग, and some says it may trap developing countries. 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 ठीक है. There are various contentious issues. जैसे इसमें बोला कि there should be common global standards, labor standards. तो this would impact India specifically. Labor standards, India has its own labor standards. If यूएसए का लेबर स्टैंडर्ड्स इंडिया में लाए गए, इट वुड बी अनसस्टेनेबल. आवर प्रोडक्शन लेवल, आवर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग लेवल वुड बी अनसस्टेनेबल. यूएसए में यू गेट 15 या $17 पर आवर. इंडिया में इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल. फॉर अ कंप्लीट डे ऑफ वर्क दे आर पेड दैट मच. तो देयर इज इशू विद रिस्पेक्ट टू स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन ऑफ लेबर एंड एनवायरमेंटल स्टैंडर्ड्स. लेबर एंड एनवायरमेंटल स्टैंडर्ड्स. देयर कैन नॉट, this would affect India's manufacturing sector also. ठीक है. And the one of the important pillar is to build supply chain resilience. It is seen as an US tool to counter Russia and China dependency. China पर बहुत dependent है USA for resources, for semiconductor, for rare earth elements. To reduce their dependency, this is seem to be a USA's way of ensuring their strategic autonomy by ensuring supply chain resilience. There is also a concern that it would affect our agriculture sector, India's agriculture sector and manufacturing sector because of the standards, agriculture and manufacturing standard. ठीक है. And there is a concern that it would be ineffective because there is no commitment. There is no commitment of free trade. There is no, you can voluntarily select which pillars you want to be part. So there is no commitment. Until there is commitment, the organization would not be effective. यहाँ क्या कोई commitment नहीं है. There is a lot of flexibility. Because of that, it is said that it would be ineffective. It would be ineffective. ठीक है. And with respect to India, it is also that it would affect our strategic autonomy in the field of environment, with respect to climate change, with respect to labor standards. It would affect our strategic autonomy. With respect to, it tries to promote digital trade. Though digital trade would have a positive impact on the economy, would increase competitiveness, would increase customers. But on the negative side, digital trade also, in the pillar of digital trade, जैसे मैंने बोला trade and investment में, it wants to promote digital trade, not just e-commerce. Digital trade में सिर्फ e-commerce नहीं, but it also wants that the data should be shared. The data is also shared across countries, and this might lead to violation of privacy and security of our data is also a concern under digital trade. ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है. Under this framework, there will be promotion of GM crops, which might hamper agriculture India's agriculture sector. ठीक है. So basically, so way forward क्या लिखोगे? Way forward. ठीक है. ठीक है. वे फॉरवर्ड में क्या लिखोगे? What you'll write in way forward with respect to? Can anyone suggest Indo-Pacific economic framework? Though it is a good start, and though it is a good framework which does not focuses on coercive methods of cooperation, it is not coercive in nature, but India should look into its realities and work in a cautious progressive way, Very good. India can join. India has already have joined this. India should become partner. India should remain as partner, but also ensure that its strategic autonomy and its domestic economy, and its domestic sector is not affected by the rules of this organization. That's why India excluded itself from RECP. India ने खुद से withdraw कर लिया because it was coercive. We should focus on making the charters and rule more. We should give this organization to evolve and focus in rule formation. Focus on rule formation. ठीक है. इस तरीके से यू कैन कंक्लूड. सो 2 टॉपिक्स डेफिनेटली यहां से एक क्वेश्चन तो आने वाला है. फर्स्ट वाज फोरम फॉर इंडिया पैसिफिक आइलैंड कंट्रीज कोऑपरेशन, एंड सेकंड वाज इंडो पैसिफिक इकोनॉमिक फ्रेमवर्क. दोनों में डिफरेंस समझ आ गया? ठीक है एवरीवन. ठीक है. ये 2 टॉपिक्स, होप you have got an idea with respect to these 2 topics. Do share your notes on this number 8830115524. Do like the video, share it. ठीक है. And make notes out of this session. ठीक है. Everyone, चलेगा? Do tell me in the comment section कि आपको सेशन कैसा लगा, so that we bring more such videos. तो already we have covered 3 session. Logistic sector, ये दोनों, इस पर एक क्वेश्चन आ रहा है, 100% आ रहा है. तो make sure you are part of this. You go through this. ठीक है. If you want to continue this series, make sure you share it as much as possible. Tell your friends who are writing mains. No need to join any current affairs course. This is an ultimate. ठीक है. Depends कल क्लास होगी या नहीं, depends on your response. वीडियो को लाइक कीजिए. If we get close to 500 likes for this video, we'll definitely have one more session. ठीक है. Thank you.